Nick, we're going to begin with you on this one, and it's kind of a closing too. And I want you to take 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Boy, that's long for now. Tell us, what distinguishes you from the other candidates that are sitting up here? What ideas, programs do you support or oppose that other candidates do not? What makes you different? And I can only have one vote to cast, says a citizen in the audience. Why should I vote for you? 2 minutes.
Well, does this act as my closing too, or are we just...
I'm sorry, oh yeah, this is closing too.
This is closing too, all right.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, okay then. Why you should cast your ballot for me? That's a wonderful question, considering that for the last 2 months I've been with 4 extraordinary candidates, and you listen to them and you go, my goodness, what am I doing up here? Here's what I can say. When I went back and I read the city charter and I looked at the qualifications for mayor, and they said you have to be at least 21 years old, a resident of the city, of sound mental mind and no criminal record, I looked and I said, well, okay, I meet those qualifications. And then you look and you say, well, what does that mean? Those people who wrote that city charter, the citizens who voted on it, what does that mean? If that's the only qualifications needed, no governmental or political experience or business experience needed to be a mayor, what does that mean? And I think at the end of the day, what it means is you want someone who is there who is apolitical, someone who is in it for the long term, someone who is committed to the struggles that will eventually occur, the problems that will arise. You need someone who's going to approach it with a fresh pair of eyes, a new set of ideas. And I believe that as a 27-year-old, I may not know everything. I'm not claiming to be the smartest or the most experienced, but I am claiming to be the hardest working. And that's what we need right now, someone who is hardworking. I suspect that the next mayor of Fort Worth, whoever he or she may be, is not going to be very popular. But that's all right, because the problems we face aren't popular, but they are going to have to be addressed by someone who is not entrenched with any special interest, who is not mired in any sort of past political scandals or experiences, just simply someone who's going to go in there each and every day with a fresh pair of eyes, committed to the long-term vision of Fort Worth that cares about education, safety, about building new jobs and interests and businesses, making certain that the people who are being educated now stay in Fort Worth. And those of you here right now know that there is someone on the council who is going to look out to make certain that the city that we love continues to prosper and grow and thrive so that we can lead North Texas within the next 10 years. Everyone knows we can, but it's going to take someone who is above the fray to do it.
Thank you, Nick. Jim?
Well, I think anyone up here could make a fine mayor, and I've said this before. I'm really proud of Nick. He was pretty timid when he started, but he's a racehorse. He's coming on strong at the end here, and it makes me feel good to see young people like this who will get out and be involved and love our city as much as us old timers do. What really makes me different is simply, in my opinion, it's experience. You know, City Hall is a very unique place. City Hall has, at this point at least, 8 council districts and 1 mayor. 8 people who go down there who have been elected from a district. They have made their campaigns, they've made promises, they have these ideas, and they're very strong-willed. And then that mayor's there, and that mayor has no more power than any of the rest of them. The charter doesn't give the mayor any special powers other than to say he or she is the ceremonial head of the city. But the mayor's job really is to build a coalition, to provide leadership, to get people to move in a direction that benefits everyone in Fort Worth. You have to be careful with what policies you make. You need to make sure that they don't degrade your city and don't just help one group. And I've always been concerned about the neighborhoods, and I always go back to health and safety issues and public safety. You know, I fought the gangs and they fought back and I won. I can tell you about potholes, and I can tell you about deteriorating conditions in your streets, and I can tell you about what goes on in the hood. But I can also tell you how to attract some pretty good businesses. All you have to look is what we did up around the Alliance Complex. And I'm not taking credit for it, but I was part of it and was there, and I know how it works. So I think the mayor's job is one that when Mike Moncrief hands that gavel off, that individual needs to know what to do next and have a plan. And as I would like to try to answer Jake's question, Daddy, what's Fort Worth going to be like when I grow up? I want it to be like the city that I grew up in, and I think the same for you.
Well, I think I would answer that question with 4 words. What makes me different? Experience, independence, fiscal responsibility, and vision. I talked to you a little bit about the experience that I've had, and I think it's essential that whoever takes over as mayor has had some policy-making experience. That's what a mayor does. They lead, but they also make sure that we make adequate policies for our city, proper policies. Independence. I'm free from special interests. I can come down to City Hall and make decisions that need to be made without feeling as if I owe anybody. If you look at my campaign and the team, the people who are supporting me, they are from all walks of life, from all political persuasions, all ages, and they value in me that independence. Fiscal responsibility. I'm the only one up here who has actually said, I don't support the Trinity River vision because it's fiscally irresponsible. No matter how you look at it, over the course of the next couple of years, we're going to have to focus on making sure that our decisions protect our fiscal responsibility, whether it's the pension issue, whether it's the deficit issue, or the Trinity River vision issue. We need to be able to say to you that every single dime is accounted for. Vision. I'm the one who has said to you that we can think out of the box. We don't have to make the Trinity River vision simply an economic development project. We can make it a park. We can have a vision for economic development. We can focus on healthcare. We can make sure that we meet the mission statement of this city: sound economy, safe city, strong neighborhoods. I believe I'm the one to take us there. Please consider voting for me on May 14th. Thank you.
Since we have a little more time on this question, I want to return to one that I didn't get to answer fully, and that is about early childhood development programs and after-school programs, and in terms of setting our spending priorities. I believe that we must elevate programs like that to the priority level of health and safety measures because they are health and safety measures. What I mean by that is that they are crime preventative measures, and we need to treat them that way, and we need to treat our children as important as that. So, having said that and having finished that answer, let me turn to the rest of that. I want to represent you in the mayor's office. I want to represent every member, every citizen of Fort Worth in the mayor's office. I am no one's hand-picked candidate, chosen to continue business as usual and stay the course. I want to represent all of the citizens of Fort Worth. And, you know, I haven't received gobs and gobs of money from special interest groups, including the group most responsible for the over $700 million liability, future liability that we face. I am free from those special interest influences, and I want to represent you in the mayor's office. And I do not have any financial interest in the gas drilling companies or the gas pipeline companies, and I will be free from potential conflicts of interest in that regard, and thus can represent you in the mayor's office. This is no time for the policies of the past. The past policies are what got us in the shape we're in now. Ladies and gentlemen, please join with me on this journey, and together on May 14th, we can bring a new way to Fort Worth. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate your support.
Thank you for being with us tonight. It's nice to have a big audience. You're going to have to make a tough decision. I'll tell you, I share one thing with Will Rogers, who sits aside soap suds over here. I've never met anyone I didn't like, and that includes all these candidates up here. They're great folks, but you will make that decision. You'll go in that voting booth and vote. I'm asking you to allow me to use, you've heard a lot about experience. I am the candidate with a proven record. I've managed a small business. I brought that knowledge to your tax office, a $13 million budget collecting $3.3 billion in annual revenue. 180 employees. Our workload increased 50% in the last 10 years with a less than 5% increase in the budget. We have only grown by 5 employees in 10 years. We work with 63 different taxing entities, the city councils, the school boards, the commissioners court, the governing body of the PIDs. I have a proven record. I understand your tax burden. I know what it's like for young families, for seniors on fixed income, for growing businesses, the tax dollars, the liabilities. We must face those head on. Fort Worth is a great city. I'm an unabashed cheerleader for this city. You need a full-time mayor who will roll their sleeves up, get out of the office, get out, make a point of talking with you, build strong neighborhoods, work with our schools, work with the other governmental entities here. I'm asking you to allow me to put my business knowledge, my commitment to this community, and my passion for serving you and understanding your burden as your mayor. I ask for your vote on May 14th.